Hi, good evening. Welcome to this presentation that it's named Low Motivations. So I am Juan Felipe Trenaunilla and my classmate is John Alexander Yola. So let's start with this presentation. First, the first of all, is the context. In a group of 10th grade students of 15 to 16 years old, motivation toward learning English has been identified. Many of them have some kind of problems to concentrate in class because they don't feel that English or these fields is so important for them. So we create this kind of presentation and this to improve their motivation and try to connect them with the real life.
Yes, so thank you, Juan. The learning goal is that the student will develop their ability to use English effectively in very real life and imaginative context by applying appropriate vocabulary and expression to describe daily routines, professions, environments, and interactive situations, fostering both creativity and community competence.
Now in these sections we have learning objectives. We break down these ones in three objectives. The number one, by the end of the session, students will organize a digital poster or infography that illustrate at least three real life and professions such as engineer and doctor. They will present it to the class in the final 15 minutes using appropriate vocabulary and expression related to those professions.
Okay, thank you, Juan. So also keep in mind that our second learning objective is that upon completing the task, students will be able to describe within 1 to 2 minutes video describing their daily routine using at least 5 target vocabulary expressions related to the daily activities. So go ahead, Juan.
Thank you, John, for that. So, and the third one, by the end of the session, students will work in pairs to construct a role play in a real life scenario where one student is a tourist asking for directions and the other is a local giving clear instructions using modal verbs in this case, such as can, could, would, and should.
Okay, so the methodology that we choose is the task-based learning because it allows the students to develop their communicative skills in a meaningful and practical way. Through tasks, learners are encouraged to use the language in real-life context, which increases motivations and promotes active participation. This methodology also helps them expand their vocabulary related to daily routines, professions, and directions, while fostering the correct use of modal verbs. In addition, the task based learning creates opportunities for interaction, collaboration, and problem solving, making the learning process more engaging and effective.
Now let's start talk about activities. So, strategy. Collaborative learning mediated by ICT. So, the final product, an infography about three professions with key vocabulary and useful phrases in English. Guided brainstorming. In small groups, students share ideas about professions where English is an advantage. The teacher guided discussion with prompts and examples helping the student generate a list of possible jobs. And the students also can use some kind of list of vocabulary to guide themselves to create this brainstorm. Search for authentic information online. Students explore reliable websites, job posting, or short videos to find real vocabulary and expressions used in those professional contexts. They select three professions, gather relevant words and phrases. Creation of digital visual resources. We can use one of the most important in this moment, that is Canva. Students use this platform to design an infography. They organize the information into clear sections with job titles, key vocabulary, and its example phrases. Images, icons, and colors are added to make the product visually appealing.
Activity number 2, strategy, creative and contextualized learning. Final product, a short video narrating a daily routine with a creative or fictional element. Storytelling, creative narration, individually or in bursts, students invent a daily routine about adapted to a fictional or unusual settings, like for example living on the moon, being a superhero, or working in a fantasy world. This makes the narration more engaging and fun. Number two, use a short scripts. Before recording, students write like a short script with simple English sentences that describe their invented routine. This script includes basic time markers like in the morning, after lunch, at the night, and unusual but clear events. And then the third one, basic video recording and editing. Students record their narration using their phones or computers. They can add simple editing elements such as subtitles, background music, or pictures. And the focus is on the clarity and creativity rather than professional quality.
Thank you so much for that information, John. So the last activity that we have here is a strategy, simulation of real life situations. Define a problem that define a product that the students will be able to present is a role play about transportation and giving directions. Guided role play. In pairs, students receive a specific scenario such as a tourist asking for the way to the train station or a friend asking how to get to the park. That is a pretty common scenario that we can use in real life. The teachers provides a modeled dialogue, but the students are encouraged to adapt it. Number two, practice functional expressions for giving directions. Students practice useful expressions like go straight, turn left, it's cross from the bank. Before the performance, the teacher models pronunciations and intonations. And number three, use real or digital maps. Students use printed maps or Google Maps to make the role play realistic. They point to the locations and routes while performing, making the activity more authentic and interactive.
Okay, thank you, Juan. So when it comes about our assessment part, so it shows in the result at the end of the lesson that before the lesson the students showed like a little interest in English language and have limited knowledge about vocabulary related to daily routines, professions, and directions, particularly in the use of the modal verbs. We were doing the lesson, the students show like a little more interest in learning English. However, they are still working on vocabulary related to the daily routines, professions, and directions, as well as the use of the modal verbs. And then after the lesson, we concluded that the students demonstrate greater motivation and are able to use some vocabulary about daily routines, professions, and direction with more confidence, while continuing to improve their understanding and application of the modal verbs.
So thank you so much for that. So according to all the information, now we present the conclusion. In reflection of this proposal, it becomes evident that didactics is not only a methodological tool, but also a foundation that ensures coherence between teaching strategies, learning objectives, and classroom management. By applying structured didactics principles, teaching can transform abstract goals into concrete and meaningful learning experiences. In this proposal, didactics allow the integration of collaborative learning, creativity, and real-life situations or simulations, which directly address students' low motivations and connect English to their professional and personal lives. Moreover, didactics provide teaching with a framework to select appropriate strategies, anticipate challenges, and design fair to transparent assessment process. This systematic approach ensures that learning goes beyond the classroom and becomes relevant to the students' futures. Ultimately, didactics strengthens the teaching learning process by bringing theory and practice, fostering motivation and guiding students to achieve communicative competence and foreign language learning.